Senior at Westside High School has overcome her own challenges, and now she is helping others.
As part of her own initiative, it's called Grit is Our Superpower. Maggie Wajinski has spent the week putting up signs of encouragement every day in front of her school. And this is from someone who in her own life has already dealt with things like suicide of a very good friend and learning how to walk and dance again after having a tumor removed from her leg.
I want everyone to know that they can get through anything in life, whether that's physical or emotional. And as long as you have that support system and your family and friends and you trust these people, you can really get through anything with what you have inside of you.
Maggie also happens to be Miss Lincoln Outstanding Teen. Her initiative is part of her community service commitment, and she will compete in the statewide pageant soon.
Coming